What's up, Juventini? Welcome back to the AJC, your channel dedicated to Juventus. It's match day. It's Juve hosting Udinese today in a game we absolutely cannot slip up in. The news is running wild. Rumor mill's going crazy. Potential changes at the upper management level and potentially the manager. We've got so much to discuss. It's going to be a fun show, I know it. And we're going to top it off with giving away 2 kits. That's right. Today, as promised, we are going to choose 2 winners. One winning this year's home kit and one winning the 15-16 away paint kit. And both coming with displays from our friends at Display Pro Inc. All right, so you're going to want to stick around for that. And join me on today's session, obviously, Omar and Paolo. Great to have you both with me. Paolo, how you doing today, brother?
Buongiorno. I'm doing pretty good. I feel all right.
There you go. Feeling all right. I like that. Omer, guns are out. How you doing, brother?
I'm phenomenal. Yeah, I had a friend coming back he had a trip to Italy for work. So he brought me back this thing. Now he brought me
Juve
2.
beer.
Yeah, he brought me 2 of those. I have yet to try it. I guess it's disgusting.
I'm going to
And
guess that
it.
like either the first half or the second half of the beer is flat, but one half of it will be probably really solid and delicious. Let's see.
One I'm starting today, the other one when we secure qualification for the Champions League. And if we don't, it will wait here till next season, till the end of next season.
There you go.
Cheers, guys, for a great match and a great pod.
There you go. I like it. I like it. And what's up to everybody in the army out here in the chat? Look at you all rocking for a while here before we jump on. Love to see you all. Mitch, Adam, Fede Chiesa joining here. Swarit, of course. LJJ Pino. Great to see you all in here. Cugino Eddie in here as well. Let's go. Drin, DJ Cami, V. Let's go, everybody. Let's go. Let's have some fun. And we're going to kick things off talking about some things going on in the rumor mill. Obviously, a hot one here is Huijsen. Huijsen deal going through, obviously, to Real Madrid. 10% sell-on clause, we find out, is actually 15% sell-on clause, helping us out a bit. But overall, the fan base still just ripping on this one. There's comments out there, and I see certain pundits talking about this move, and they associate it with Giuntoli, claiming that there are certain decisions made that someone can't usually shake from the club they are at, and they're trying to paint Giuntoli with this brush on Huijsen right now. So I want to get your guys' thoughts on the Huijsen move now, as we're well beyond removed from the summer mercado when it went down, and Bournemouth has now moved him for a £15 million release clause, which is around 60 million euros, with Juve set to receive 15%. So where were you in the summer? Where are you at now? Has it changed? Are you the same? Let's start this one off with Paolo.
Well, wow, that's a loaded question. When Giuntoli and Motta had the keys to the insane asylum and they were given the chance to do whatever they wanted, they started to move a lot of pieces. Giuntoli was doing a sale. He was selling stuff out of his back of his car. He was drumming up money. He had the garage open, and he wanted to make a splash. He wanted to sign a bunch of players. He wanted to turn this roster inside out, and it was madness. It was an exciting summer, right? And the problem I have has always been that I thought the prices were a little low on some of the guys he unloaded. And when it comes to Huijsen, the tricky one with him was that, from what we understand, the facts were he wanted to start, and he thought he was ready. He wasn't going to mess around, and he already had an ego and a vision for a bigger future, a bigger club, even beyond Juve. I think everybody kind of knew that, but for some reason he wasn't given the chance, and we probably could guess he may or may not last a long time with us before wanting to move on. We don't know that, though. We never really gave him a shot, and I don't think we got enough for him. And I think part of what concerns me is The way in which everything went down, I don't know if that one was properly thought through, but
All right.
it's a mess.
All right, so there's Paulo weighing in on the Hoyson thing. Mitch, meanwhile, gifting an AJC membership. Big shout out to Mitch there. Much love. And Omer, your thoughts on the Hoyson situation from summer till now and him about to join Real Madrid?
First of all, it's a pretty good beer, actually. I kind of enjoy it. Okay, I'm kind of split on Hoyson, not because I don't think he's a good player or has a bright future ahead of him. I had a post yesterday that garnered a lot of attention and a lot of people chimed in. A lot of people agreed, a lot didn't, and it was like we've seen this type of thing before with Juve. And just from recent years, Caldara, Ugani, Delict, Demiral, and I said Romero, it triggered a lot of Tottenham fans. But a lot of them have yet to live up to the hype. And they still might. But I think Hoyson falls down to that category. I think it's still a long time before we can say we actually missed on this huge talent that is going to be the next big thing. I'm sorry, we've been burned by that before. At least we didn't spend like 70 million on him or anything. Having said that, it was a mistake to sell him. Considering how the season has gone, he would have been a starter if he stayed at Juve this season. And we could have really used him, and we probably wouldn't have to buy Kelly or Vega. So it's kind of shameful. The annoying thing about it is the price. Like, we could have gotten a lot more for him. And that's where it kind of hurts me. But I guess that's what you get when you have accountants at management. Because they probably, Juntoli probably brought it up. I want to sell Hoyson, and they asked how much he's worth. Good, sell him. It's more money. Which I think if like Nedved has been in the management or whatever, he would have said no. So I've yet to see to make a final decision on him, and I think it's going to be a while. Considering how the season went, it was a mistake to sell him, and we could have sold him for a lot more.
I think there's so many elements to it. Like, it's not just cut and dry. Number one, you have Juntoli, who's come in, who's tasked with, first and foremost, getting the finances right. Then you have your player roster with a slew of messes in there on contracts. Guys that don't actually hold value that can help us. So if you're trying to make up, let's even say 20 million in capital, you do it pretty quick with the young guys, or you're getting rid of quantity to make up for it with some of these other guys. And some of these other guys would probably be break-even deals. At the end of the day, where's the interest coming from? So it's kind of the same situation that Hoyson found himself in. He went on loan. He didn't really shine on that loan, in case people forgot, like at Roma. And he started off playing. It didn't go too hot. And then he ended up not playing, and he came back. Bournemouth was the best option out of the offers we had at that moment. So, yes, you could keep him. But again, injuries are a bitch. Bremer going down, Cabal going down. The fact we didn't keep Rugani around, like, we shot ourselves with depth, and he went, I think, just adds to this whole thing around Hoyson. But there's another thing in there where he kind of circumnavigated what the club worked out. He okayed a first loan move. He went against it for his own desire. Then after to go to Roma, the club discussions with him, but he didn't care. Oh, so you don't care. Okay, that might rub people the wrong way too, which it did. There's a whole list of ways we can look at this thing, but if injuries didn't affect the team as bad and we didn't shoot ourselves in the foot with depth, it might not have been such a big point. But the way the season panned out, you guys are right. Looking back, it's like, man, could we have used him? Absolutely. But hindsight is always going to be 2020. In the end, he moves to Madrid and we'll see. Maybe he hits the heights. Maybe he doesn't hit the heights. That tweet that you made, Omar, involved De Ligt, Romero, and who was the third? Demiral. All of which had these projections. Some feel that Romero hit his expectations and he's there. That's great. I don't believe De Ligt came anywhere near it. Demiral, absolutely not. So, hey, you win some, you lose some. Remember, everybody, Bayern Munich let Kenan Yildiz walk to us for nothing. You win some, you lose some. That's the way it goes sometimes. Meanwhile, with the Huijsen thing, I think we'll just end it at that because there's really nowhere to go. Like, my thing is with the management and these calls, as upper management gets questioned in here, Elkan's taken a lot of heat from some, but some still defend Elkan. They say, no, and here's my thing now, for pointing this gun directly and only at Juntali, because at the end of the day, I don't care. If he's fired, he's fired. If he stays, he stays. But these guys have to pony up, because to put this guy as a scapegoat or be the poster child for their fuck-ups and their blunders is kind of wrong too. Elkan, like this whole thing with Exor and all this, and you're going to step in with 100 million if we don't reach Champions League, what's there? So where's the stepping in before that if you actually wanted to retain this player? And that's why it's not just Huijsen. And that's why I've always been talking about upper management, is because if they cared, if they wanted that guy to remain, or any players or any of the moves Juntali was doing, they credited him, or they gave him the task of getting the books right. Okay? We were unfortunately in a situation where Juntali was doing this where we couldn't walk away from certain deals because we needed the capital to come in, because he's got this on his brain that he's got to get these books right while trying to do whatever he can to make the team competitive. Guess what? If those guys didn't like it and they wanted Huijsen or anyone else around, they could have stepped in. Exor, you know what? People, I don't think, have an idea of what Juve is in the world of Exor. In the corporate umbrella of Exor, and I had this discussion with someone yesterday and they were blown away by it. Exor, like, it's 38.2 or something billion like that in their corporate umbrella. Juve accounts for 740 million. That's 2% of Exor's corporate umbrella. So all this nonsense about them and getting a free pass, Elkan's always there. He's been willing to throw in money on 4 bonds over the past 8 years. I don't care, because in the grand scheme of things, it's nothing. And he doesn't have to do that if he doesn't want to. There's others willing to recapitalize and help this club. Tether has just stepped in, is willing to do so. So changes.
His job is not to manage Juve. It's a situation he got caught up in because they just managed it awfully for the past 4 or 5 years. If he could, he'd let it go. He'd give it to someone right now to manage it correctly. He had to step in.
Exactly. So for me, there's been an error there on them giving Motta so much leash, and I don't know why, but nobody's stepping in from the top, and now we see it's completely absent up there. And now we start to hear about changes. Boys, Chiellini, promoted, vice president. How do you feel about that one? We'll start with Omer. Omer, Chiellini, vice president.
Oh, phenomenal. It seems like he's been building up for it since, midway of his career. And I think he's the right guy. He's a smart guy. Based on the news that's coming out, it seems like he has the right idea in mind. It seems like he has a strong influence on a lot of figures in Italian sports, in Italian football in general. I told you in the past, and a lot of people roasted me for it, that Chiellini might actually be my favorite player ever. I mean, along with Del Piero, but I did get to see him since he was a youngster all the way to the end of his career. So I'm kind of biased, but I am hyped. I love Chiellini so much, and I think he loves Juve even more than I love him.
Yeah. Paolo, your thoughts on Chiellini as vice president?
Like many of us, I've always loved him as a player. He's a great character. He's very likable. He can smile and give you a hug just after he gives you an elbow in the face or one in the ribs. Um, he's a wonderful personality, so I'm really happy to have that kind of character in the upper management. And he has been studying and doing his homework after games and whatnot. So I'm excited for him. I think his heart will be in the right place. I hope he gets the right support around him and the right people around him to help him realize what he can offer. And the more passionate, smart, positive personalities we have in this organization as this upper management thing starts to get tidied up, the better. And the sooner we get back to better product on the field and enjoying our team more.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Couple things coming through the chat here. Adam enjoying his birthday today. Happy birthday going out to Adam there. And we've got
Happy
Vin.
birthday, man.
Vin is in Torino now. Give you updates later. Forza Juve. Enjoy, my friend. Enjoy. Now, yeah, this Chiellini thing, I mean, I'm excited. If there's one thing, like whatever has happened this year, let's get the job done. Let's qualify. But I am excited to see Chiellini step up and get more importance in the role. I don't think it should end there. You guys know how I feel about these guys. If Scanavino, if Ferrara, if they are believed to have some type of involvement, take a step back and do it behind closed doors. You guys are numbers guys. That's fine. But Chiellini being one of the guys at the forefront, that's great. So right now, as it stands, Scanavino is president. And Chiellini is rumored to be vice president and stepping into that role. I still think it shouldn't be done there. I think it should, obviously we should continue to build that upper management group, and we'll see about the changes that are to come. We've heard that with Chiellini, Bonucci could be coming in as maybe part of a technical staff, maybe coaching youth sector. We've heard about Barzagli over the past couple of days. We heard about two trainers, Pintus and even Bertelli, both with history at Juventus. Pintus obviously being there through the 90s when Conte was a player, and he worked with Conte at Inter. And then you have Bertelli, who was here while Juventus had Conte as a manager from 2011 to 2013 there. So, yeah, I mean, all signs are pointing to Juve trying to sweeten the pot, trying to show Conte that this is it. The belief out there is that Conte, the job is his if he wants it. And a 3-year contract sitting there on the table, according to Nico Schira. Where do you guys stand? 3-year contract with his salary. Some fans are saying, I don't know if we should be committing to 3 years. I'm going to say right now, if you want an elite guy, a top guy, they're going to want some type of commitment in for the terms. But how do you feel about this push and this thing that we're going after? Should we be doing this? Have you been with Conte? Where are you at on this whole thing? Do you want to see somebody else come? It's still rumored plan B is Mancini. Or do you stick it out with Tudor? For me, it's a very easy decision. But I want to hear from you guys. So, Omer, all in on Conte?
Well, it's basically everything that we wanted to hear, isn't it? One thing you didn't mention is Platini is rumored to be like the president of the club. He was offered the job. I don't know where it stands, but everything is pretty vague regarding who's joining and who's not. And for me, it's Conte. I don't think considering our situation, we don't have the luxury to try a Zidane right now, or even go on another season with Tudor. Conte is the more, let's call it a surefire option right now. I really believe it's what Juve needs, because things are that bad. And I don't know if you'll get to try it again. The fact that he's willing to come back now after they refused him last summer is pretty wild to me. I guess it points out to how much he actually loves Juve and loves Torino. So for me, it's Conte all day. I don't want to hear about anyone else. I don't want Conte. I really think Juve need Conte. I really do believe that.
Paolo?
If Omer doesn't want to hear about anybody else, I don't know what I'm gonna say. Um,
Oh, I really like.
all these signs point to this kind of triangulation of Conte and a Conte universe. So it feels like it's going to happen. So if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. There's a lot I like about Conte. I like his fiery personality. I like his history. I like his track record. I like the fact that he was a pretty solid player. I like his passion and his commitment. So, and I think the relationship he'll have with players will be challenged and tested if he's the manager. I think he's going to want to make some changes and he's going to bring in his own guys. I think there's going to be a lot of movement if he's the manager. I think the whole thing will feel like all or nothing. And I think we can count on Conte. And I think if you want to see a lot of 1-0 games, you won't be disappointed. The one side of things that makes me want to consider something else, not Mancini, is to try something different. When people hear different, they go, "Oh, we different. Look what different is. It's Mota. Look, different is the end of the world. There's no such thing as different that will work." And maybe they're right. But thinking Conte is the only way we can be successful frightens me and is a bit disappointing. And I don't have an answer for who else. And if I was to say Gasperini as example, I think people are going to lose their minds. But it bugs me a bit that Conte seems to be the only way we can get our shit together. And that really bugs me because he's going to come with a lot of good and bad as well.
I get that. I really do. But I think there's pros and cons to any decision you make out there. And we've been talking about this obviously for a while. As you know, I've seen the comments out there in the daily video saying, why do we do this? Why do we create this drama while we have, matches to win and it affects the team's play? Listen, this was never going to be escaped, and it was always going to be the story when you have a caretaker manager, which is a coach, any coach, regardless of it being Tudor, coming in with no guarantees, no actual contract on the line. Now, as far as it stands with him, Mirko Di Natale claims that he is going to be the manager through the Club World Cup. I'm not 100% sure, depending on what the situation is and who actually comes in. Because certain managers would probably love to take that opportunity to say, hey, let's see however far we can go, but let's go from there. Or maybe it is the best decision to say, hey, you finished up the end of the season, let him go through Club World Cup rather than make changes and go through another manager. That's something else to think about as well on top of it. When it comes to Conte, polarizing figure, always has been. We remember the exit. We remember the first time we rejected him. He went to Inter. Agnelli and Conte had some type of beef there. We saw it unfold on the sidelines. Oriali, his right-hand man that was there at Inter. We remember the big dust-up at the Coppa Italia match on the sideline where everyone was going mad. Oriali, I believe, got sent off there. If the rumors are true, Oriali has already told his friends, he goes, I can't go where he's going. Maybe a key indicator, but all these other signs of who we're trying to put into place and where all have links to Conte. Last year, I was laughed at. I was ridiculed because Romeo Agresti said 0% chance that Conte would be our manager. But I told you everything I was hearing was he wanted to come back. He doesn't just show up for a game, have dinner with the brass, is seen out with the brass because of good feelings, good vibes, or making amends. He wanted the job. He wanted the bench. We're going to see it put to the test here because if he wants it, I do believe it's his. Leaving Napoli after winning a Scudetto, people say makes no sense. Makes perfect sense if you put yourself in the mind of Conte. Going out in that style, leaving, doing what he wants. That's one thing with Conte. He will always do whatever he wants, what's best for him in his mind. If he feels as strongly right now as he did last season about taking back the bench, if everything we heard from guys like Di Livio, Torricelli, Lippi, that he would jump at the opportunity if given it, we might see that put to the test because it looks like Juve is there at that point.
But if you have to pick a manager right now in the world that has the same credentials as Conte, give me his name. Give me another manager who took like 4 teams out of like the depth of the table, awful times, and turned them around in 1 season.
I've been saying this the entire time.
Would you take Pep now?
He is an elite manager. He doesn't have it in Europe. He hasn't been able to have that translate in Europe. But we're not there yet anyways. Has he left a club in worse condition than when he's gone there? I've asked that question numerous times to people that are against it. The answer is no. He hasn't left a club in worse condition. That's big too. If we're looking at alternatives, man, I don't know. You either take another shot, as we did with Motta, with maybe who? Italiano? You maybe take another experimental shot there. I think even Gasperini is an experimental shot. Given what he's done with Atalanta is great for that range, but translating over to a big club is going to be different. So you're either taking shots. Mancini have a CV that could compete with Conte, in your personal opinions?
Absolutely not. No.
Paolo, should
No,
Mancini
for me,
be?
doesn't.
No, I'm not interested in Mancini.
Yeah.
And I'm really bothered that Conte is the only thing, because he is really good. And you're right. All those things about his success, his record, his reputation, they exist for a reason. And seeing him energized and excited and jumping around on the sideline brings a smile to my face, because I've always liked this guy, right?
Yeah.
It's so annoying. He's the only guy. And Omar, you may be right. I don't know who else you put close to him, considering his resume. I don't know.
Let's say he doesn't
now.
leave. Let's say he does not leave. You are tasked with hiring the next manager. Out of all the names we've heard, who do you choose if he's not available?
Honestly, I have no idea. No idea. I'm not that. I mean, the guys that
And that's the scary part.
Yeah, the guys that I am impressed with are not an option. I mean, Ancelotti has already done. He's going to Brazil. Luis Enrique wouldn't leave Paris Saint-Germain. Inzaghi wouldn't move to Juve. I mean, all the guys that are performing. Even Pep is susceptible right now after the season he's had.
Yeah, Ancelotti would have been someone I would have liked. Pep, I like him. I like a lot of things that he can bring, but I'm not crazy about his style. And okay, I'm going to go on a limb, and I don't care because I'm going to get roasted for this one, but it's an opinion. If I had to pick somebody and it wasn't Conte, I would give Gasperini a chance, and I would do that because he has Juve roots. He's done well with the teams and the players he's had access to. And in a club like Atlanta, which is not Juve, I don't need to hear it. I get it. He's kept that team performing at a higher level, qualifying, staying in contention, and being powerful offensively. And I would give him a couple of years and see what happens if I had to find a plan B, or if I had to find an option.
And I think that's where it's kind of at right now. It feels like Juve's just trying to like speed things up, and Conte kind of is the guy that represents that just because of his CV. And I feel like that's why it's such an intense, like, no, it's him, like, we got to go him. And I think that's why that feeling is there, is because he's done it everywhere he's gone. And he's made it happen in league, of course. But yeah, it feels like this big rush. When it comes to the alternatives, I'm really torn, you guys, on the alternatives. Tudor, I still have major question marks around Tudor. And it's been a mixed bag, but he's come into an absolute mess. And it hasn't been bad. Like, it hasn't been bad what he's done. Like, it's good. It's good what he's done. He's simplified. He's got us at least with some type of style. The final third is still a lot to be desired left there. Tudor's probably up there in keeping him. Italiano, after, finally getting a trophy. He's made finals. He's made European finals with the clubs he's in. Hasn't been able to win. This is his first final victory out of 4, I believe. But he does well. He's got his teams playing well. He's very good at man management. He does have ties to Juventus. I don't know, though. I really don't know. I feel very strongly that for me, you need a top tier guy, and we should stay away from the experiment. So it feels like a not right now category that Italiano would fall into.
And also,
I don't think we have. I don't think we have the luxury of going on another adventure now. Green mentioned Ranieri. I would have gone for Ranieri, but he apparently already retired. He came back to Rome because he's from Rome, and it sort of did them a favor. But he's not really interested in taking.
And isn't this the truth? Motta scared the absolute hell out of us, and now we just as fans are like, I don't know.
And Berto, how can we talk about a manager when we don't know what's happening above them, right? So I think that's the other thing that has to be sorted out is if, let's say, Agnelli comes in and you have Chiellini and these other pieces in place, then together, if they said, look, we really should go with Conte, we've talked about it, we agree, then I'm like, I trust you. But we don't have the structure above that to make this decision, which is kind of bugging me
Having
as well.
Chiellini get into this role and playing a part in some of the decisions, though, gives me a little bit more confidence, about what they're going to decide and what route they're going to go. Having a guy that's been in the locker room for a long time, that knows about the coaches, has played for Allegri, has played for Conte, and a bunch through the banter era, etc., dating back to Deschamps, even for Chiellini. It's I trust him. I trust him being a part of the decision of who comes in. So at least we have that peace of mind. But you could see in this discussion amongst us on the panel and everyone in the Army, it's a very, very difficult position that the club is in. Let's see. And yes, the rumors are there that Chiellini likes Mancini, but he's obviously got a bond with Conte. He's got a bond with Allegri. Not saying Allegri's coming back for 3.0, but I'm just saying he's got bonds. What I found interesting about Chiellini was actually not that I like to listen to this guy, but Cassano gave him a hell of a lot of praise. And he said
that caught me off guard.
That caught me way off guard. I was like, whoa, is this actually Cassano, this mutt talking about? But he just said, look, he goes, as a person, Chiellini is top notch. He said, absolute phenomenal as a human, as a man, husband, father, etc. But he said in football, in the world of football, he goes, he knows everybody. Serie A, Serie B, Serie C players. He goes, he knows them all. He knows them all. And he said, if there was a pick, he goes, I always hear Del Piero and him coming into the fold. He goes, but Chiellini is absolutely the right choice. And he says, in my opinion, the best choice Juventus could make. Caught me off guard.
And he knows, Chiellini knows better than all of us what is in for with Conte. Better than all of us. So if that's his choice, I mean, he isn't sitting there thinking, we'll give it a try, let's see how it works. No, he knows exactly how Conte is going to come in, what his methods are, what are his demands, and whatever. So if he does decide to go that route, it's because he knows that that's what Juve needs. And I agree with him. I think that's exactly what Juve needs right now. Unfortunately, I would have loved to have a great season, then move on to a Zidane or something, and leave that fantasy. But we just can't. I'm sorry.
When it comes to Del Piero and the constant rumors with him, being a part, whatnot, I actually have this theory. I've always kept to myself, whatever, but I don't believe he actually wants it. I don't believe he actually wants it.
I agree with you.
And I know that he's gone on multiple occasions on television, stated that, oh yeah, I would, oh absolutely, it's a club I love, but it's got to be right, etc. And he kind of dances around it. There have been no phone calls made to him or anything like that. I just have a feeling he doesn't actually want it. That's just me. That's just me. Omar, you
No,
say
I
you
think
agree. How come?
yeah. I think he's having. I think if he wanted to get back to Juve, it would have already happened.
Yeah.
And I think it seems like he's just having fun being in the sidelines and in Champions League matches, interviewing all this player, getting some respect he deserves, and it's a lot different than like managing Juve right now, which comes in with a lot of burden and issues and whatever. And if he's not fully into it, then no, leave him on the pedestal that he is on right now, and let's try something else. Chiellini seems like a planner. He planned
Yeah.
his career after football during his playing times, which is a very good trait for someone who's going to manage a club, someone who's thinking forward, long term, or whatever. So yeah, I think that's the right call. As much as I love Del Piero, it doesn't
Yeah.
seem like he really wants it.
Paulo, what do you think about my theory on Del Piero?
I think you're right. He has been known to say, "Hey, if I get a call," but that's a little bit non-committal. I think he should have a role of some kind, one he can manage, one that fits his lifestyle, his businesses, his geography, allows him to be part of the club and part of the growth, especially if you're bringing back some of these amazing players from our history. So find the right spot for him. But we have a financial and we have a roster and finances in flux. So
Yeah.
I think
I
that's where
think,
the attention needs to be as well.
yeah, I feel like with the kind of absent upper management that we've seen and whatnot, probably made him gun shy. I also think that, God, wouldn't it be a shame if the fan base were to ever turn on him, depending on what role he had? And like, remember what they did to Nedved and what they were saying about
Yeah.
Nedved? Do you imagine hearing that from, fans towards ADP? That wouldn't sit well. And maybe that's something he thinks about too, is where he sits right now is a god of Turin. Why change that? Why risk that for what? I just have a feeling he doesn't want it. So, yeah, I don't know. As far as the ADP rumors and whatnot, I've never really delved in too much, and I've always said this with him, that I'm just not so sure he wants it. Now, meanwhile, we've got some other rumors. We've got Udinese today. Lorenzo Luca, a player from the club we're about to face, won't be in action today. He's going to be out, but 30 million euro price tag. Boom. Woo. Forget about him. We're going to throw in
Absolutely.
Ruhi. That should account for 1.2, but they apparently want to make it work. Juve's hot on Lorenzo Luca, but 30 million? Dragons 8 wasting no time saying no thank you. Omar, you're shaking your head. That's a no thank you from you.
Come on, we have like Colomwani for 40. I would add 10 million for Colomwani to stay here or extend his loan, then go. I mean, 30 million for Luca is excessive.
Yeah, like that's a
Uh,
bit much. Paulo, 30 mil?
It's too much. These deals we're making, somewhere something has to shift at some point where we're paying proper prices and we're selling for what closer to what we deserve. And if it's 20 something, early 20s, that's probably where it makes sense for me at the most.
And we all kind of see Luca as like a 1B, right?
yeah.
Anyways, like a guy off the bench and whatnot. So let's follow Lecce, because if Lecce is going to get relegated, I'd probably make the move for Krstovic instead of Luca. And to be honest, a little bit more rounded, etc. As far as the table goes, Lecce is now in that relegation zone, so that's probably a guy I'd look at on a better deal, to be honest. But Luca for 30 is a no from me. That's a no
I
from
mean,
me.
if we are going to spend like 70, 80 million on a first striker like Osimhen or whatever, I don't want to spend another 30 on our second striker. I mean, we have bigger issues and there are cheaper options out there. I'm not that impressed with Luca. Maybe he has a bright future ahead of him. Maybe let him flop another season and then his price will drop to 15 million.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like, you got, and everyone's all over the map. People are saying, "Well, Luca,
I
30
know,
is cheap for
20
Luca.
for Kelly.
We paid 20 for Kelly. I'd pay 20 for Luca, but not 30.
Mhm.
That 10 mil makes a
And
difference. Krstovic is not good. He's more rounded as far as Luca. Luca is not going to give you a whole lot on the ball. That's one thing too. He needs a service. He's a absolute beanpole of a man. So yeah, but you got to get him the service. So I don't know. I don't know. 30 million? No, I wouldn't for 30. No, no. And I get it. We want Italians. You want a kid that wants to play in Turin. You want it. But come on. We got to find better deals. We got to find better deals than that. Now, Henchko. Talks continued. Everybody was saying this was a Mota signing that we were looking at. Now all of a sudden, I think they're just monitoring the situation to see what could develop and maybe they would strike. Vega, Conceição, and even Dusan Vlahovic. Apparently, this is going to be their last match at Allianz Stadium. All three set to leave. Vega, the only way we have a shot, apparently, is if it turns out to start with a loan, which Chelsea probably won't open up to. But there's a little bit of a wild card there because Maresca's future is kind of, nobody really knows what's going to happen there, and that could change things. Because Maresca didn't even want him to come on loan in January to Juve. So nobody really knows what's going to happen there, but this is what's being stated right now. Chico Conceição will not be redeemed. Vega will be heading back, and Vlahovic, this is it. Your thoughts on all three of these guys? Just go through the list. Chico, Vega, Vlahovic. Paulo.
Chico, the 30 is enough. I think he's probably worth an extra 25, maybe 30. So I think the 30 is about the right price for him. I don't know if I want to put 30 to him or not. I do like an Adeyemi or somebody as well. Vega, unfortunately, he's going to, if we can get him, it's going to be a stupid price, something like 40 or 50. And then, of course, Duchan's gone. Koulibaly's, I like what he's been doing, but I'm not sure if I'm sold on him either. Henchko, I would probably take. I think he could probably go back now and say, things have changed. Here's a new price that we would consider and see what they say. But it's a mess. It's a bit of a mess.
Yeah. Omer, take us through your thoughts on those three.
My personal guess, it's only a guess, that Vega will be a Juventus player next season. They'll find a way to make it work. I think he likes it here, and I don't think Chelsea are kind of, building on him right now. With Chico, 30 million, I don't know. I think it's flashy. I think you can get some other midfielder, some other wingers, especially if Conte is the manager. That can do the same, if not better. Like, I would call Real Madrid and ask about Brahim Diaz and is he available for 30 million. I don't know. I think he had a pretty mediocre season. Still a lot of room to grow. And we might be dodging a bullet here. We might be making a mistake, but I mean, we have wingers. We have a lot of wingers. I don't think it's the right move to sign him permanently right now. Sorry. And who was the third guy?
Well, Dusan.
Dusan is out.
Yeah,
it's done.
Well, for sure.
And
your thoughts on that sign? Take us
prices,
from the start to now. Like, your thoughts on Vlahovic.
I think it's been underwhelming. I think Juve in general have been underwhelming and kind of a mess, so it was a really bad place for any young player to kind of thrive. I think the ship has sailed. I think he needs too much maintaining. I don't think Conte would like him very much with all the attention that he asks for, if it is Conte in the end. The rumors are like 30, 40 million to Atletico Madrid. Seems like it's, well, they're saying it's like almost done. Sign that deal today. Don't wait just a minute and just move on. Let's move on. We tried it 3.5 years. if it hasn't worked out till now, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And I like Dushan and had high hopes for him. It just wasn't it.
I'll start with Chico. I think the start of the year was, something could very well be there with this player. He's definitely talented. He's quick. He's pacey. He's not afraid to take guys on. But along the lines, I think it just stopped working. I think other players were victims of the same issues through play. 30 million is not anything crazy. But we did spend 7 plus 3 in bonuses on the 1 year for him. So you would like to see him retained, but you can't just make a decision because of that's definitely not being pot committed to buying this player. If we're looking at alternative players and you're hearing names like Adeyemi for 45, I'm not super crazy about him either. Zhegrova's had a brutal injury year this year, but I do like him as a player. If the price is right on Zhegrova after this injury season, we could take advantage of that. Sure, but then we're making signings that we all want to stay away from. Guys on big injuries. So it's like, what are you doing? What are we doing now? So it's like we conflict ourselves at every turn on certain moves. So for that reason, if we want to keep it level and hit certain other signings while they're injury riddled, well, that's the worst year I've seen in a long time from a player as far as injuries go, is now the time to strike on him. It's like all these things go through my mind. But Chico, I'm fine with whatever the club decides. For Vega, I would really like to see Juve retain him. I would. I also don't want to see Juve overextend on Vega. However, if I had to make a decision, and if they're looking at Henchko to Vega, I stand firm on what I said a while ago. If he could keep his play to the level of when he entered Juve for the first few weeks, Vega, I'd say I'd rather keep the guy that's in-house getting it done now than pick up that other guy that is still going to carry a bit of an unknown. You also have Vega, who's doing it at 21, versus Henchko that's never played anywhere outside of there from 28 years old. But the contradiction there is that that's usually when defenders hit their sweet spot, so to speak, is 28. You know, I'd like to see
also
Vega
a lot
retain.
different. It's also a lot different when you play next to Bremer than when you play next to Kelly. I mean, there are players who elevate and make your job easier for you. So
Yes.
I think there's a lot of things I like about Vega and the way he plays, the way he conducts himself.
Oh yeah, he's got a lot of great qualities. For the price tag though, we got 40 to 50. That's a tough call. That's a tough call at 40 to 50. Again,
the perfect deal would be a loan with like an obligation or whatever, and then you know the price.
Vlahovic. For Vlahovic, for me, it's funny. I was hyped up on the signing when he first came. I knew the price tag was high, but I was hyped up on him. I thought the team that he was walking into should have been able to get him some solid numbers. He did start off pretty hot with Juve. It was good, and it faded, but the team faded. Just like Omer said, and just like he made mention to. The funny thing about it is he's kept the same average numbers per appearance, per goals, etc., that he was getting when he was at Fiorentina. But it just brings up this comment from Del Piero that just rings true. And that's, you have to always be growing. You have to always be improving at Juventus. And the reality is it wasn't. And the reality is for Juve and for Dusan, the break needs to happen. And I'd maybe make the argument it's a little bit, maybe 1 year too late too. But you couldn't find a move because of the contract, because of all this. So it is what it is. But that's kind of the rundown on those three from us anyways. So yeah, that could be it for all three of them. This might be it for them playing at Allianz Stadium. We will see. One last interesting bit before we get into previewing the match against Udinese is that with Club World Cup coming up and the uncertainty of a lot of guys on this roster, we hear that loanees could be making the swing back. Giallo, Facundo Gonzalez, Daniele Rugani. Well, easy one for me, guys. Diago Jalo seems just like nobody wants this guy anymore. It was like a stab. It was a cheap price. Would have been great if he could hit the strides that he was seeing before his injury. That hasn't been the case. And he's had weird off-field issues, breaking curfew a number of occasions there while at Porto. Yeah, we don't need that. If that's the way he's going to be unprofessional, then see you later. Facundo Gonzalez, I want to see play for Juve at the Club World Cup. I would like to see him get some minutes at that tournament. And I do think the first 2 matches present a situation where he could get some minutes. Maybe not starting, but get in the fold. Rugani back, final contract year. Yeah, help us not have to do so much work in the Mercado. He should have never been gone for just a loan to Ajax in the first place. So make it right. Chiellini, hey, VP, Daniele, I'm sorry for these meatheads, okay? Come back. Come back and help us out. That's just my thoughts on those 3. Where are you guys at on them? We'll start with Paolo on this one.
I agree with you, so I won't repeat what you said, but you got to get your Rugani shirt out then, man. He's what, 30 now? I like seeing a guy like him hang around, step in, help out when you're in a pinch. I never was a Danilo hater either. I love having some of these older players who are smart, need a bit of help sometimes, coverage-wise, but I love seeing them brought into the mix and on the bench and whatnot. So it might be nice to see him back.
Omer.
Yeah, so Rugani, bring him back. He doesn't mind being a rotational player. No issues. He kind of knows the environment and whatever. So, yeah, that's kind of a no-brainer for me. Facundo Gonzalez, I mean, take notes from the Hoyson deal. Don't repeat the same mistake. Give him a chance before you undersell him, and then he'll get sold for whatever. Jallo, that's what I have to say about Jallo.
What can you say? It's just crazy. It's that's the way it's gone. That's the way it's gone. Rugani, I think, was missed. Yeah, more than just Sunset, just in general. I mean, he would have been great. And just that bit of experience. He really found his reliability over the past few years, and he's happy to just play whatever amount of minutes. If it's 100 minutes he gets in a season, if it's 1,000, he doesn't care. It was silly. Some silly decisions that I'm still upset with management on. Now, Miretti is brought up. What about Miretti? He should have a go with us in the Club World Cup, I believe, after his loan spell, doing good stuff, a lot of positive reviews on him. He should be in the mix for our team for Club World Cup and just see. I think also, like, if it is going to be Tudor that plays that way, Miretti's going to have... That's exactly where he should have been playing all along. That's exactly where he should fit, in one of those 2 spots behind a striker, and it would be interesting. And I'd be willing to see that for the Club World Cup, like just to give him a couple runs and go and see. And his value still shot up a bit after the loan spell this season, so I don't think it's going to hurt any. I'd give him a go. What do you guys think? Omer, did you give him a go?
I would give him a go. I don't feel like it's a huge miss if we sold him this summer. I mean, it could go either way. I'm fine if he stays as a rotational player and gets his chances. I'm fine with selling him, to be honest. He's not like the be all and all for Juve. I don't feel like he is, at least.
Yeah.
I just don't have really warm feelings toward him.
Yeah. Paolo, what do you think, Miretti?
I think we got a crowded midfield again. I still want to see more of Adzic. I'm really excited about his potential. Yeah. You got Miretti. You might have Fagioli coming back. So we'll see. I don't know. I think there might be room for everybody to get a few minutes in this summer.
I think Adzic is falling into that same category as some of these other guys. Like, Miretti was clearly above next gen when he was there, but he still had that gap to the first team. And Adzic, we can't even say he has a gap to the first team because we just haven't seen it enough. And it's frustrating, right? Because there are talks about him on a loan, but I don't even know if I can make that call because I haven't seen enough of him. I would have loved to see some decent game minutes to make that judgment call on him. So I really don't know. He might be able to be a rotational piece in the first team. So I'm with you, Paulo, on Adzic there. For Moretti, give him a shot. I know, yeah, so he's got shoulder surgery, claiming he might not be ready, but because he dislocated it. So that's a pretty quick turnaround. It's not a super long recovery. I'm shocked Weston McKennie hasn't gone through the surgery because it's not a super long recovery. Went through it myself, but nonetheless, let's see. Fagioli. Well, we need Fiorentina to not qualify for Europe, and it seems that they may not buy him. They are sitting in 9th place now on 59 points. The last European place being held on to by Roma at 63 points. So they're 4 points behind. That would make it no obligation. And they are contemplating what to do with Fagioli. Fagioli may be coming back. Some fans have said, that's a shame, we don't want him back. The betting thing, all this, his attitude while at Fiorentina not playing well. Look, you may not have a choice, and he may be coming back. And then talk about a flooded midfield, comes even more flooded. Fagioli will still have some value there, but man, it'll take a hit there with what's going on. So, hey, more uncertainty. Get used to it. Okay, embrace it. It's not going anywhere, all right? We're going to have to deal with this uncertainty. We'll see what happens. Now, let's get to Udinese. May 18th. This date has 2 on this day moments, okay? Good and bad. The bad? Well, a couple years ago, we were knocked out in Europa League by Sevilla on this day. That one pissed me right off. So that was the bad one. We're not going to talk about that, though. First European title, though, on this day, 1977, with Juve defeating Bilbao. 2-legged final. Juve won the first leg, lost the second leg, but wins the title on away goal rule. Man, we were having a laugh about that in the green room, Omer and I, before Paolo joined, because we're just like, that is so Juve. If you're thinking European finals and how they're going to get it done, and it's like, yeah, that makes sense. 2-legged final, drawn, away goal rule, but there you go. Oh, man. So that's this day. And we'll get into some trivia for the kick giveaway. We got to get to this match. Okay, so Udinese, we are facing, they have nothing to play for, fellas. Okay? They can literally just be that pain in the ass if they want to be, because they're sitting mid-table, they're comfortable, nothing is going to change for them. There is nothing really to play for. But they are not in good form, with losing 6 of their last 8 matches, and their defense has been brutal through those games. This is a must-win game for Juve. We are at home. Tudor, though, has some decisions to make. And, you know, we'll take a quick peek here at Udinese. They are without a list of players. No Tovan, no Luca, no Atta, I believe, as well, Omer. They have a laundry list of guys that are out. But you could see Davis, Pafundi up there. They're going to play 3-5-2. Christensen, Biol, Soleil. Across the middle, Lovric will kind of be that tempo guy for them. Kamara on one outside, Modesto on the other. They have a lot of guys out. Losing 6 of their last 8. We're at home. It's must win. Get the job done. Seriously. Get the job done. Like, I know Tudor's got calls to make. We're about to get into Juve's lineup, but my God, you guys. If you want a hand-picked opponent in a hand-picked set of form going into this game, this is it. But I remember that Empoli third string team. Oh my God. Pafundi will be one to watch. If I have to give a day, preliminary day, because I know that's what he's going to ask. Honestly, the whole team just have a disaster. We need the win. It's going to go out to every single one of them. Okay. Juve, Tudor, he's got some decisions to make. 4-4-2, baby. How do you feel about this one, fellas? Di Gregorio, Costa, Vega, Kelly, Cambiaso across the back. Gonzalez, Locatelli, McKennie, Weah, Kolomuani, Yildiz up top. Obviously, we know Savona and Thuram suspended. They're out. Then you have injuries on top of it. Kalulu getting suspended. His season's over. 4-4-2. Paulo.
I can't wait for this season to end. I like that Tudor is going to make an adjustment. I think that's a mature aspect of his management. So congratulations to him. I hope it works. I think he can move Kelly for Vega and put Gatti in at some point. I don't think you have a lot of choices. I like Bangala. I really would like to see him get in this game maybe. I get the Weah thing. I like seeing Yildiz up top. 2 at the top will be interesting. Yeah, it is what it is, right? We don't have much to work with, and I think it's interesting. He's switching the formation, so he's got something in mind. I did rewatch the Udinese Juve highlights from earlier in the year, and I think we were 4 wins, 6 ties or something. We were undefeated. We looked pretty good. So this is maybe a more cautious formation, and if he gets Costa, who's an exciting player to watch, honestly, and then Cambiaso up high, and really pushes that lineup like he did in his first game. Tudor had almost Di Gregorio almost at halfway. If he really pushes that whole group high, it could be fun. We'll see. Yeah. Not a lot of choices.
Yeah. Omer, how do you feel about this lineup?
I mean, what else can we do when you look at the players available? Even Costa, I mean, he came out injured in the last match. I don't even know if he's like 100% ready, but he has to be there because there's just no one. You were decimated. Like they looked at Udinese's available players and who's injured, and they went like, hold my beer, because I don't think I ever remember Juve being this decimated. But the 4-4-2, I mean, it's kind of an outdated tactics. It's better for shoring up the back line. Those 2 lines of 4 are pretty easy to defend that way. It was like the go-to formation. The tricky thing is it kind of nullifies the attack, and it's built on personal talent and moments of magic. So we kind of have to really rely on basically Yildiz to pull something off. Now he's rested for like 3 weeks, so maybe he'll come out guns blazing. But honestly, I do exactly the same. If you give me that team and the options I have, I go 4-4-2. I have nothing else.
I wasn't too fond of pulling one of the midfielders back into making that back 3. This seems a little bit more reasonable. Have we seen Kelly as a center back in a 2-man pairing at the back since he's come on? I think it's always been the 3. I think
he has been in there.
Actually, he played as a left back when we had 4 men at the back.
That's right. So he was playing as a left back there. So this will be interesting. Obviously, hopefully he does well. Knock on wood. Is this the first time we've seen McKennie as an actual fucking midfielder this season? Might be. So, he's back where he came to us in a midfield role. Obviously, that would be my decision. Some shouts for Luiz. Dropping Locatelli back, playing Luiz and McKennie there, or even getting Luiz to start this game. McKennie has proven himself to be a guy that no matter the manager, he just gains their trust. He's got it. Tudor's got it, so he's in there. I have no problems with it. Weah Gonzalez on the outsides, no problem with it. Cambiaso and Costa should be pushing the fold to get those guys inverted more, so then we have a bit more central presence, since we're only going to have McKennie and Locatelli in the midfield. So I expect a lot from the fullbacks in a 4-4-2, and that is standard of a 4-4-2 setup. So Cambiaso and Costa, hopefully they're with it today, and we go from there. Yildiz getting back. Well, chance for redemption for Kenan Yildiz after what went down in the brutal sending off and everything in a silly moment when you're 2-0 up. I'm looking for him to have a strong game, and he has been good for Igor Tudor, so this is a chance of redemption for him, and maybe we'll get a little bit of a peek at the mentality of where his mental state is coming back after that situation, and also dealing with a formation, a setup change that is going to be quite drastic for him, and missing a couple games. It'll be interesting to see, but I have faith in him. And I know that there's some questions coming up in Storm the Barn around Yildiz. We will get to them. But yeah, this one, there's not a lot to say. Tudor going with a 4-4-2. We can make sense of it. I don't have any issues with it. We talked about Udinese. They are riddled with injuries. We got to take advantage. Champions League qualification on the line. You're at home. Just take care of business. The midfield battle, this is one thing that we have to be aware of here, because Udinese will obviously flood it as they're going 3-5-2. We're going to be a little bit more spread out with the 4 across the middle. McKennie and Locatelli will have to cover a lot of ground. Should be a battle. We still win, but I hate that word should. Nonetheless, we will be watching the midfield. We hope Juve controls, gets after it, pushes Udinese back, and pins them back. Impact players, Yildiz, we will have to keep eyes on him. We are going to set the Tony with the official. Guys, I always told you, when you're playing these teams, especially teams that have nothing to get ready for the Serie B specials, you got one coming up, okay? Giovanni Eroldi. 8 more games in Serie B than he has in Serie A. So Serie B, 58 games officiated, 5.8 yellows per game, 19 reds, 21 PKs. Woo! 1 out of 3 matches got a PK in there. All right. Serie A, 50 matches, 5.8 yellows per game, even in Serie A. I was shocked to see that. Usually they go down significantly in Serie A. He's close to 6 there. 20 reds in 50 Serie A games and 16 PKs in those 50 games. I smell a PK coming and a lot of cards. I don't know, because I think Juve's should be controlling this one, taking care. It's time to get the prediction challenge out of the way. Everybody in the army there in the chat, get those likes up and hit us with your prediction. Who wants to kick us off today? Final score and a couple tiebreakers. Omer, want to do the honors?
Yeah, why not? I'll go with 2-0 Juve. I don't think they're scoring. With a bit of luck, someone said in the chat, we could clinch Champions League today. We just need Inter to beat Lazio and Milan to beat Roma, and that would be all she wrote. Over-under for a Juve player punching someone and getting a red card midway through the match. Would you take that bet?
I would take any bet the way things have been going. So, sure. Yeah. Who would it be?
And who punches someone?
Nico Gonzalez.
Nico Gonzalez sounds like the right answer. And let's say Yildiz gets 1.
All right. Paolo, you're up, my friend.
Well, this is going to be our 20-something must-win game of the season.
Yeah. Since March.
So you know how that usually goes, which is luckily we have Udinese, which I don't know if that helps. We can't seem to not let something in for some stupid reason. So Udinese gets a goal. I'd like to see Yildiz go nuts today. He's such a wonderful player, so unpredictable, so exciting, strong, talented. So I'm going to say 3-1 for us. I don't know why and how we get 3 goals, but I'm going to say 3-1. I think Yildiz gets a pair, and I think Koulibaly gets 1. And I think the third goal comes a bit late after a game where it's 2-1 after 2-1 at the half. So that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Okay. I'm kind of split between the both of you fellas here. I kind of think that we are going to concede, like Paolo believes. I also think we're going to get 2 goals. I think it's going to be 2-0 at half, finish 2-1 final. So I'm going to go 2-1 Juventus win. I will say Yildiz gets on the scoreboard today. I think Yildiz is going to have a good game. And I just get those vibes from everything Tudor has said. and stated in the presser in the build-up to this game that he feels so bad. He's adamant about making it right and getting back into it. He's been great for Tudor since Tudor has stepped in, so I expect a big game from Kenan Yildiz. I actually think the second is going to come from Nico Gonzalez. And I'd like to see him rewarded with another goal. He's been working his ass off for the team, and he comes off, and I swear to God, they can't get that kit off that guy because he's sweat so much and he's killing himself for the cause. I expect him to get one. And I think for another tiebreaker that let's go with he's got 5.8 yellows per game average. I'm going to say he's going to go below his average in this game. I don't think it's going to be as much into it as we're going to expect. So 2-0 at half. Udinese will find one, but it'll still be relatively comfortable for Juve. 2-1 final. And yes, we're going to be scoreboard watching. All the games are at the exact same time today, okay? And obviously, we're going to have eyes on Roma and Milan, and we're going to have eyes on Inter and Lazio. So, would not be surprised, and then Fiorentina, Bologna. I would not be surprised if Inter were to drop, conspiracy theory that they'd want Juve to get fucked in some way of getting Champions League qualification. They're in a Champions League final. Yeah, amici di nessuno. It's us. I hate them. Okay? Now, storm the barn. I'm going to leave this up to Omar and Paolo. Should we do the kick giveaway first and then storm the barn? Or do we do storm the barn and then the kick giveaway? What do you think?
No. I'd say the kid because we have like 108 people in the chat right now, and it kind of dwindles down towards the end. So I want to give more people a chance. So I'm saying now.
All right. So 15, 16, pink on the line, and the brand new home on the line. We got trivia. Okay? We got trivia. All right. The first one. In Juve's 2-0 victory over Rennes in the second leg of the 1999 Intertoto Cup final, who scored the opener? Boom. That's the first one. Let's see. The first one to come up with a name, Kit's yours.
Who's faster? Who's
the fastest?
Let's see.
Vieri, no. Ravanel, no. No, nobody's got it yet. Conte, no. Alex, no. It's a tough one. Zaghi, no. Conte, no. Matri, Amoruso, no. You know this one, Omer?
No, but I'm seeing it right now, so I know. Now I know.
Do you remember who said that was like one of his favorite players ever? Remember when he was on our show? Pulled the kid out?
Oh, who said it? First of all, someone got it right. We have someone here.
Wait, the opener? The first goal?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I got it wrong. Maybe I got it wrong. Maybe I need to fact check.
Well, it's the same player who scored both goals, so there's only one right answer.
In the opener?
I think. Wasn't the opener?
Second leg? In the second leg?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on.
In the second leg. Wait.
In the second leg.
Mm-hmm.
Hold up.
Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you guys figured that out. Wouldn't it be strange if both Udinese and Juve wore their stripes today? That'd be kind of funny.
They should do that.
It'd be awesome.
Actually add to it. Hold on. We're fact checking here because maybe one of us is wrong. Hold on.
No, no, I
Omar?
clearly checked the first match.
Here, Omar, I just text you. And let's
Yeah,
see. I'm
okay.
still
So
looking at the names here.
I think someone
what?
is waving a red card at you, Bert.
I don't think it's right, Berto. Like I'm looking right now, and
Send me your link at the match. Send me the thing. Maybe I got it.
okay, so
It's
I'll
okay.
go sing
Somebody's
it's
gonna win
you.
it because somebody probably nailed it. Red card. I'm getting reds. I'm out.
I
I'm
know
out.
you're getting lots of reds, dude. VAR. This is VAR taking forever.
Hey,
okay,
somebody
I'm
probably
sending you
won it.
now the
Are you
I'm
sending
sending
it
you
to
now
me,
the
Omar?
first one. Yeah, yeah. I'm sending you now the first match.
This is so fitting for Serie A. You're absolutely right.
Mhm.
I hope you have a lot of kits.
This is the first
Is that the
leg.
second leg, though, Omar?
This is the first leg. No, this
That's
is
the
second
first leg you sent.
So the second leg is the same guy, which someone already mentioned.
Okay, hold on a second. We're going back. We're going back. We're going to VAR. Luckily, this thing's time-stamped. Luckily, these are time-stamped. Hold on. We're going back. We're going back. VAR check. I think it's George.
Let me see.
I think it's George.
Might be George. No.
Oh, was it Dragons?
No, no.
Dragons 8? No. George.
No.
It's George. Conte.
Second leg or first leg?
You said it's the same guy.
No, I said it's the same guy in the first leg, and then two other
Send me
guys.
the second leg opener. Second leg opener. I had a completely different player.
The second
Kovacevic.
leg. That's what I sent you. That's what I sent you. The second leg.
Conte. Conte. George,
Conte,
you've
Conte.
won the kit. George, you've also won previously. So you can either pick somebody in the chat here or it's yours. Either or. This next one will be easier and obviously hopefully right. Jesus.
Oh, I'm gonna fact check you.
Fact check it. Fact checked it. Who scored the winning goal in extra time when Juve eliminated Barcelona in the 2003 Champions League quarterfinal? Easy one.
Who scored the second goal?
The second goal, the winner.
Oh, that's an easy one.
Easy
Who scored
one.
the first would be a tougher question.
Easy one.
Yeah, I already got it.
And there you
And
have
we
your
have it.
winner, just like that. Zalayeta from Iorio. You have won the kit. So both George and Iorio have the kits. The first one was for the new home kit. The second was for the 15-16. All right. So Iorio, you got yourself the 15-16 and the display. And George, you've got yourself the home with the display. Congratulations. All right. And I got a red card. So on that note, I'm out of here, everybody. Take it easy. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Okay, storm the barn. Let's get to that. But that's just another way of us saying a big thank you for all the support throughout the season. It's not always the easiest thing to do, to come out here. We all want to see Juve thrive. We all want us, the best for the club. And with so much uncertainty and fans going at each other because of the passion that we have for the club, it's difficult to get out here and do this sometimes, and I don't think many actually realize how difficult it can be. And sometimes we're punching bags and we get it. And we're just like, okay, yeah, like whatever. We're just as pissed off as you guys are, and it's all good. We go through this together, but your support is tremendous, and it's been strong, and it's been gaining a ton of momentum. And big thank you. There is more giveaways to come. I am going to be heading to the States for Club World Cup. I will come bearing gifts. Unfortunately, there has been a change. I am no longer able to make the DC match. It will only be Philly, but I will be there for a good period of time from Thursday to Monday. And like I said, there's a lot of events that are going to be going on. We're looking at a private one for AJC as well as official fan club members, something joined. There's also going to be the match day experience on the actual match day, the tailgating. And I just got word on a few things. All I'm going to say is if you are looking to go around those games at Club World Cup, you are definitely like 100% going to want to be an official fan club member, because you will only have access to certain things if you're an official fan club member. You're not going to want to miss out. There's some really, really cool stuff planned at all the cities. So that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm allowed to say for now. But I look forward to meeting a lot of you in the Army, and big shout out to those that have already reached out that are helping us get some stuff planned up. Okay, so there we go. Now, with that, storm the barn. Storm the barn. Oh, and by the way, go Leafs, go. Get the damn job done today. Huh. Juve and Leafs. I need those 2 victories this weekend. Okay? Can Tudor or our future manager free Yildiz and let him do what Lamine Yamal does? With his shots at goal, that tiro giro that he does, Yildiz can do as well, frustrated with the lack of shooting. I mean, I've always said this.
I don't think so.
Lamine Yamal is just a freak. Like, he is a freak. He is a cut even above. Yeah. Like, Yildiz is a great player. He's a fantastic player. He's super fun to watch. But, I mean, there is a noticeable gap there, and I don't think it's coaching. Like, it's just...
It seems like Yildiz still needs time in the oven. You know, get cooked a bit more. Lamine Yamal seems like he just came out ready when he's 17. It's very rare you see someone
he's crazy
this talented performing at this high level at this age. It's really special. You know, Yildiz is phenomenal, and I'm really excited for him. But Lamine Yamal, those guys don't come around that often. And it's just a joy to watch. I mean, there's nothing else to say. He's a very special talent.
Yeah. Paulo, coaching the difference?
No. Yamal is unbelievable. But we have seen with Yildiz a lot of changes over the past 2 years. And I think he needs the right players and the right coaching to help him realize his best game. And I think that's still to come. But it won't be a Yamal-type game, I don't think. I think he's going to have his own game. And I'd like to see it more in the middle.
Yeah. Let's go with, hold on a second here. Big shout out to Mitch that's been gifting memberships and everything. Let's take a little note from him here. Get the likes up, everybody. Let's go. Get them up. Is Omer the most underrated AJC member? Absolutely loves it. I don't think he's underrated. Everybody loves Omer. Omer gets a lot of praise, as does Paulo since joining. Fantastic debut season. Maybe not from the team rewarding you, but Paulo's been fantastic too. I'm not the guy to ask because, I always say how lucky I am to have such a great team, and we made some great additions this season too. But Omer's perfectly rated, I think.
Yeah, I believe I'm overrated. I think I'm overrated. I mean,
you're one of those players after 10 years, you get a special trophy or something. Like, you're one who always comes in, performs at a high level. I think people expect what they get from you, and I think it's always a joy to watch. As a fan, I watched the show before participating, and I've always enjoyed all the crew's comments, and yours are always delivering. It's always a fun perspective you bring and a smart one. So I think you're at the all-star level every game.
Well, first of all, thank you, everyone. That's like the nicest thing anyone has ever said to me. And you can't see it, but I'm blushing. And so really, thank you, everyone. I think I'm overrated. I've been here a long time. Like, I had some horrible takes, a lot of things that I got wrong. But the vibe of this crew and what we do is just to have fun with everyone. I'm not here to tell anyone how wrong they are or point it in their face. Just if you're here and you're enjoying, then I've done my part, and I believe everyone else, that's what they want.
And that's the
So
thing is
thank you
like,
very much.
it's about coming out here, and yeah, we get heated sometimes. We have our takes, and sometimes we have our and we love the pushback from the chat. Love it. That's what it's all about. If you can't accept that, then it's just not gonna work, right? But all the AJC members are great except maybe Lucci. You know what? I probably agree with that one. Okay, yeah, Lucci's got to get out here more often to defend himself on these types of takes. So, but no, they're all good. They're all good. Great team we got here, and a lot of fun. Joe, Conte is a good short-term fix, but this club is fucked in too many ways for a short-term fix to solve all our problems. He is good, but he isn't the mean to all end. But if we talk about, having issues in too many ways, as Joe claims, the issues aren't all just from that one position. So you have to sort out upper management first and foremost, even if it's not Conte. Conte is a viable solution for that particular role. But no matter who the coach is, you're not going to fix everything with one position. That's the whole point of what I've been ranting and raving and hooting and hollering about since Motta came into jeopardy with his position. I said, if that goes down, you need to finally address the situation about absent ownership, absent upper management. Period. Like, what's the game plan? What's the vision? Who's calling it? And what are we trying to achieve? It's just Conte, short term or not, again, he's the top guy out of the list, in my opinion. Outside of that, we would have a very difficult decision, as we've already covered.
I don't think any manager is the be-all, end-all, to be honest. I think Conte is kind of the safe route. Can you... I mean, everyone's saying what we shouldn't do. Okay, what should we do? Who is the guy to come here and fix this Juve? Because I don't believe this crop of players is as bad as they're made out to be. I think Juve is a mess and kind of an impossible place to work in right now. And you got to create a better environment for all these players to start actually thriving and living up to their potential. And looking at the football scenery right now, Conte, to me, seems like the right option. Last year it was Motta, and I was dead wrong. I might be wrong here again. But I don't think we have the luxury of going on another adventure with Italiano, Palladino, or whoever.
Papa Gio, by the way, he remembers that short where I asked him all those questions, and he said Conte. When I asked him Motta or Conte, who should we hire? He said Conte. Yeah, he hasn't let me forget that. Just as I have not let him forget that he didn't rate Kefren Turam whatsoever. And I was like, I think you're wrong there. So we go at it and we have fun. We need Papa Gio a little bit more involved in these shorts. But yeah, the roster needs help. That's more in your director in a combination with not only coach but upper management. It all needs to come together. Paolo, anything to add that we haven't already touched on with this Conte not resolving all the problems? I don't put it down to a coach. Your thoughts?
In this post Motta apocalyptic world we live in, we in the next two games we can sort out the money. So if we get 6 points, we have a financial picture. One thing we can't sort out in control is time. So there's the cup in the summer. There's Tudor maybe for the summer. There's a new coach right away or later in the summer. There's a bunch of players coming and going, and then there's a manager. I think the management's going to turn over a lot. Upper management's going to have a lot of turnovers this summer. So it's really timing. So yes, it's a Conte question, but it's a timing question. And I think the timing of how all this unfolds will impact the quality of a Conte impression. So it's difficult.
Yeah, it is. It's just we're missing some pieces right now. The puzzle is incomplete in the office,
and the timing is difficult. I wish we had more time to make these decisions.
What do you think will be the target next season? Top 4, Scudetto? That matters, doesn't it? I also think this plays a big part in your coach. I think you could get serious about I always said this roster that we assembled this season without injuries and stuff should have been a top 2 side, in my opinion. On paper, top 2, but paper doesn't matter. Made a mess of it with the last coach. Even with Conte, you should be a top 2 side. And this Serie A is there for the taking. Unless some of these teams make crazy moves and just go insane, like, I still expect a dogfight, and I expect a team to be in top 3 minimum, like, and at least comfortably next season if Conte steps in. If it's not him, I don't know. It might be a little bit more difficult. Maybe you get the same thing. Top 4, top 3, but we should be amongst the top sides. This Serie A is not anything crazy. Look at what the point total is going to be for this Scudetto. Like,
Maximum
this season was
84.
there for the taking.
Maximum of 84, I believe, which is, I think, maybe not the lowest, but maybe the second lowest ever in the 20-team era of Serie A. Juve won with, I think, 84 points in the Sarri season. That was awful. But if Conte made this Napoli team make it to 2 games away from a Scudetto, I mean, that title was up for the taking. Any team would have stayed consistent, could have been in the title race. Just no one has been.
Yeah. But next season, depending on what happens through the summer and everything, I would expect to come in with the same expectations I had as this year, which is a top two team.
Top 4 is a necessity, and Scudetto is the goal.
Because top 4 is not an aim. Like, that's not an aim. That's like it should be a bare minimum. That's just a bare minimum thing. It's like, yeah, you don't talk about that. Let's talk about contending. So I'd like to have that as the target. Hopefully we make moves that leads us to believe that. What is Dejan Kulishevsky's favorite Italian expression? Vaffanculo. Okay, here he comes. Adam with his jokes.
No. That's not a yellow card. That's a good one. Panel.
I'm sorry, man. That's a yellow. Not a red, because it's decent, but oh my God.
Adam,
not bad, Adam.
That was a good one.
Might have been what Aldo's throwing out straight red. Straight. I don't think it should be straight red. It's decent. Paulo, that was decent.
That's a free kick.
That's a free kick.
It's a free kick foul. Okay, so not even a yellow.
No. Free kick.
Aldo says having none of it. That's actually not bad for that. That's one of the better ones. I think the manual driving Locatelli. I think that one was probably
Marco,
up there.
You get a yellow for simulation. That was
Alex Juve says 8.5 out of 10 on that one. That's a high rating. Not bad. Swarid, who gets the preliminary day? The whole team. All of Udinese. Screw them. Gotta win. 3 points. George, about the Conte Osimhen thing. Are we sure Conte has issues with Osimhen? Maybe he was just okay with Osimhen leaving because he had Lukaku. I mean, this has come up so much, and I just said, I think the Osimhen thing was kind of maybe even settled before Conte even got there at Napoli. But he doesn't fit the standard of what Conte wants to see up at the top in terms of strikers. So I don't think it's a personal issue. I don't think there's really an issue there. I've always kind of questioned this push from Juve for Osimhen. What I'd like to see happen is us get their hopes up that we're actually coming in and we're actually going to make this move, only to screw them and say, yeah, no, we don't even care about this guy at all. And come into the Mercado, they're stuck loaning him out again and lose him for free next season. That's a dream scenario. But I don't really know about the Conte Osimhen thing. I just don't feel like he's a Conte guy. It's just me. But what do you guys think? Paulo?
Well, that's...
Or Omar? Yeah, either one of you go first.
Well, that's the big question mark with all the rumors right now. It kind of doesn't fit. But the Osimhen issues predates Conte. There were these issues with Kvaratskhelia agent and the coconut video, and a lot of issues with him that predated Conte, and maybe Conte just came in and said, "I want Lukaku," and Osimhen said, "Well, I don't like being second fiddle to Lukaku." Um, but if De Laurentiis lets both Conte leave for Juve and Osimhen, I mean, he's probably going to commit suicide or something. That's like his worst scenario ever. So, yeah, let's hope we get him. Let's hope we make De Laurentiis. I don't want to say hurt himself. Okay, I don't want to be
Yeah.
excessive, but just super annoyed. I like to see him like throw a tantrum in the dressing room
Oh.
for losing those two guys to
I
Juve.
would love to somehow, some way screw this whole thing, operation and everything with him. But Paolo, what do you think about the Osimhen Conte thing? Do you think that he would be after Osimhen?
I think Conte is going to change the lineup so much that I don't even know if Osimhen would be in the conversation. Napoli's going to be on the hook for a lot of money if they try and ride this out, and they're going to end up with nothing. So if Osimhen comes cheap and Conte is the manager and they have a relationship and you can screw Napoli somehow and get them to give him to us for less, I don't know if any of that can happen. I would do it, but who knows?
And you're right here, Forza Juve. Mirko Di Natale did say that. He said that it was more of a thing that was predetermined before Conte showed up. But here's my thing. We all know Antonio Conte. If Conte wanted Osimhen to remain, do you believe he would have put up a fight? And that it could have maybe gotten ugly?
Yeah. Yeah, and the reports are that he is going to have like full control over the Mercado. So if he doesn't want Osimhen and they are in talks with him, they already know that.
Yeah. So I've never had the impression that Osimhen is a Conte guy, and I'm not even thinking I just never have thought Osimhen's really going to be this play for Juve, especially at that money and giving it to Napoli, etc. Like, I'd rather drag them on and then say, nah, forget it, so that they have to take less or take more of a hit. Like, that's more of a game plan I'm into, let's do that. But yeah, maybe Gio's right. Maybe he's going to bring Eder and Pele to the mix. Whew, Giaccherini coming out of retirement. Let's see. Who, with the lack of classic number 9s, if Conte comes, who would you see aside Lukaku? That's just a good question. I don't really know. I don't really know what route he's going to go, who he wants to see, what he likes. He likes those big 9s. So I don't know what the hell he would take and pick. I'm still thinking Juve needs to make a big push for David. And there's a lot of fans getting fired up with Napoli. De Bruyne talks there. Jonathan David. All of a sudden, these big swings there from Napoli. Yeah. I don't know. We should be in on some of these guys. Let's see. Mercato. Can we do no deals with Atalanta, Bologna, and Napoli? No more deals with those. Okay. There should be other possibilities. Bologna, they were dickheads this past summer as well. Napoli, yeah. Atalanta, no. Fiorentina, add them to the list. Let's look outside those clubs, okay? Let's look outside those clubs. I'm with you, Mitch. I'm with you. Miretti and maybe Fagioli will return. Fagioli only had one good game in Firenze, of course, against Juve. Do we need him? Miretti, do we need them? I wouldn't have said goodbye when we did to Fagioli. And I think that's when the line in the sand should have really been drawn, especially because how much longer did Motta last after that? Not very long. They should have drawn a line in the sand there. He should have been getting minutes. He might not be hitting expectations that anybody had for him. He may be well beyond that. He may never hit them, but he still could have helped while he had other midfielders struggling. Do we need these guys, though? You might need Miretti based on if he can reproduce what he was doing at Genoa, and that's literally a role we're trying to fill. You might need him, but right now, I'm not crazy like we have to have these guys. Club World Cup, I'd like to see maybe what they can do, but I'm not crazy. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about those two guys. We talked about in the group chat. I mean, it seems like Fajoli was better when he was gambling. Um, but
Until the breakdown and the crying over one error there for the
Oh,
goal. That's when we knew some. Me and Lewis pointed that out. And we're like, something's up, man. You don't react like that just because of that. Like, something's going on. And then we got it. And yeah, it was like, okay, that makes a whole lot of sense. But we'll see. We'll see. Who's got the bigger game today? Juve or the Leafs? Both. Both. Both of them. Go Leafs. Are we supporting Inter?
not in a million years.
No, I still won't do it.
I think they'd win, but I do not support
I'm
them.
not supporting them.
No.
Jesus.
we got to win both our games and
Yeah.
take
Our
control.
fate
of
is in our own
situation.
control. Like, we just got to
Yeah.
win our games. I
It's
don't
a
need to ever
miracle.
support Inter.
We can still hate
It's
everybody
a
else.
miracle that it's still in our own hands. I have no idea how that happened.
Yeah. Who would you give the Ballon d'Or to? This is the first season in a few decades where I've got no clue who will get it. Personally, I'd give it to Di Gregorio, but that's just my humble opinion. Who would you give the Ballon d'Or to? And we're going to have some fun with this one because we're going to mix it up into Juve.
It's a tough one.
I think
Like-
probably that's a tough one because who are we thinking? Like Salah,
Might be Salah. I think Rafinha is a decent shout. I don't like going to like stats to determine who should be. So Yamal might as well be, but then they'd say he has like 7 or 8 goals.
like who are the
In the
guys in the
league.
mix? Rafinha, Salah, like who else? Is Dembele gonna be in the
Yamal.
mix?
Might be Dembele. Donnarumma had a phenomenal season.
Mm.
I don't know,
Yamal
it's a
gonna
pretty-
get
it's
in
a
the
pretty
mix?
tricky one.
It's a hard
Pretty
one.
tricky one. It's like look at the most important games those teams, the best teams, had this season, and who was the outstanding player out of everyone in those matches. That's how I would choose. So I think for me, it's Rafinha this season. The
Yeah.
quality of goals, the big moments where he shined, I think he probably deserves it.
Yeah, I mean, depending how things go, Dembele, if with that final two, like it could be him. Could be him. I'd probably be okay with those two. Honestly, Rafinha or Dembele. Paulo, who do you think should? Who would you give it to? Who would you award it to?
I'd give it to Salah all the way. Here's a guy who scored a lot of assists, a lot of goals in the hardest league to play in, and he does it week in, week out. He plays with a smile. He makes his team stronger. He said to his coach, his new coach this year, he said, "Don't make me track back as much as Klopp did. Let me stay up high. I can do a lot more for the team." And the coach said, "Okay." He let him do that, and he's had a wonderful year. He plays with a smile. He's an honest player. He's got such quality. I think he's a fantastic winner of the Ballon d'Or this year. Fantastic.
I do tend to agree. I think Salah is a great shout. Yeah, tricky one. First
Tricky.
time in a long while.
It's tricky. We're gonna get to this. Your April Player of the Month is Manuel Locatelli. And I put a tweet out there and I said, up there for this season, despite the fact many don't want to admit it. The comments, I had some comments. I had a lot that agreed. And I had those comments that said, at this point, you're just being paid by Juve or Loca. And I go, what are you watching? What does this guy need to do to get just an ounce of respect? Through the entire season, available, kills himself for the cause, doesn't care to play back, played center back a few times, whatever to help the team. Consistent, one of the few, him and Thuram. That's it for consistency.
Yeah,
I don't know what
those
this
are the
guy
two
needs
names.
to do to get an ounce of respect, but for me, if I'm given a season MVP, it's probably him for Juve.
I think it's hard to go beyond him and Thuram. Everyone, I mean, the players that should have been those guys have been injured a lot. Let's say season, no one kind of stood out in defense. No one stood out in attack too much. And I don't remember a game when he was actually bad, really bad. At the least, he was decent.
Yeah. And here we go. I knew you would chime in here, Alex. Been way too quiet, and I knew the Loka talk would get you out here. Not suck for 3 out of the 4 years. He didn't suck for 3 out of the 4 years. He literally didn't. He's done every task he's been asked to, and every manager that's come along know he needs to be in there. Far from a key figure, I disagree, because he's the damn glue in the midfield. Always has been and always will be while he's there. Everybody thought he'd be riding the pine this season. Lo and behold, they can't deny Locatelli, as they cannot deny Weston McKennie. But you want to credit one without crediting the other, and I have no idea why, because Loca's in the same category. Can't be denied. And I have to battle this not only with Juventini, but with rival fans that say he's not even in the top 5 for Italian midfielders. Bullshit. Bullshit. And it's a damn joke Spalletti hasn't been calling him up while he's playing through this season. Bullshit. Tonali, Barella, what are you going to do there? Throw in like a wild card like Fratesi, who's streaky as fuck, that could score goals here and there, that plays up top? It's Loca. You put Loca in the heart, you give freedom to Tonali and Barella, that's a disgusting 3-man midfield. But Spalletti's an idiot.
I think Rovella has a decent shout. I think he was good this season. Maybe,
but I'm
if you
still
wanna
not
go
taking him over Loca.
Ricci.
Rovella does have a good shout. Ricci is he's a good midfield too, but in the heart there, it's a different beast. It's a different beast. Rovella and Ricci get shouts, but I'm not picking them over him right now. Can't do it. Can't do it. And his numbers back him, not only in Serie A, top 5 leagues, but everybody wants to deny it. I'm here to say I'm happy. I died on that hill. Good for you, Loca. Good for you. Is he your season MVP? Would you pick somebody else?
No. I mean, I want to pick Thuram because I bought his shirt early on because I did believe in him. And he did have some great goals. I mean, I think his finishing is underrated when he's in the area. His long shots are not that good, but his finishing, look at his goals. Some of those moves are filthy.
Thuram getting shouts for MVP. Paolo, who's your season MVP?
Well, I think Di Gregorio's been really good. He's made some massive saves. I'm really happy with his performance this year overall. I think Thuram is definitely a fan favorite for all the right reasons.
Yeah.
He got better quickly. So he didn't have a great start, but he really picked it up, and I think he's a wonderful player. I'm so happy to have him. Locatelli's been pretty good since day one, and I think he could actually be better. And the way he can thread a ball in a switch, in a long pass, the things he can do with the right guys around him and the right setup and the right tactics, I think the best of Loca is still to come, and I think he's been the most valuable player this year.
Yeah, I agree. Now, we're going to get to something else that's obviously been in the news. We're going to take this down here. We got to bring these up. We got to talk about it, okay? Because it's current, and this is where we're at right now. So where are we rating this bad boy, fellas? Where are we rating this, everybody?
It looks better than what I thought. You know, from all the it wasn't images, it was graphics, but still not anywhere close to my favorites. I'd give it a 6.5.
Okay.
Tops.
Should say visit Toronto, Trim says. I was going to put visit Camp Granada, for God's sakes. But anyways, Paolo, what do you rate this bad boy? The barcode kit.
Let's just, I want to just block the visit Detroit part. The collar's a bit funny. So that bugs me a bit. I don't love it or hate it. I like pink, and I like pink in there somewhere. I think pink is such a Juve color. A 6, maybe.
6. I'm at a so the stripes, I just wish they would why can you just make it 3 stripes across the front would be nice. The barcode thing, it doesn't kill it for me. The symmetry kills me though. Like the sides, you have a little bit of stripes coming through, and then you got this rounded template coming to the top. The collar that is like that Team Geist. This is like a Team Geist kit template. And then if you see this thing from the back with the lines from the stripes and the sleeves, like it looks weird as hell from the back, but it's okay. I like the pink highlights. I like that touch for the first time, like pink being on the home kit, and pink, obviously the history being the first color for Juventus. I like all that. It's okay. It's okay. It's like a 7. It's not like, it's by no means the worst home kit we've ever had. For me, that will always be the half and half. And that actually represents the first time pink was on the home kit, because they had the pink stripe separating both of them. So this is not technically the first time we've had pink on the home kit, but that one would be the worst. This one, it's about a 7. It's about a 7. Now, this one, I think personally stole the show, and I think it's incredible.
Absolutely.
And it's the goalkeeper kit is just class. This is class.
Yeah.
It's hard to see the details in this one. The highlight, like, it is just amazing. It's amazing. Now, from this creature emerged, and I thought this would have been cool as hell. Where the hell did it just go? Had it. Uh-oh. There we go. This would have been sick. They combined the goalie pattern with a home kit. Like, that's cool. That's badass. That's a badass home kit, in my opinion. If you substitute, you don't have to have the neon green there like the home kit was. This one has the Scudetto badge for the women, who, by the way, crushed it this season. But, yeah, this would be badass. This would be badass if they did this. Visit Detroit. Okay, yes, I get it. Still, we don't like the Visit Detroit. Okay. Yeah. Whatever. But, guys, this is pretty cool. This would be cool. They did it. I'd be all over
that.
it.
I mean, they should hire some guys of Twitter. There are some just amazing ones on Twitter, you know, fan graphics of kits. I've seen some amazing ones. And then you look at what they came up for Newcastle. Said, why the fuck couldn't they do that for Juve?
Yeah.
Just straight up lines. I don't know, it's demoralizing.
So the Visit Detroit thing, I don't need to get into how it looks and all this, whatever, but we did get the details this week on what that actual sponsorship was. It's $69 million over 3 years. And I said, that's brutal. And we're not going to like that, especially when we qualify for Champions League. It's very, very low. And people said, man, you got to realize that last deal, like Ronaldo was in and the team's crap and all this. And it's like, no. Don't get it twisted. The last sponsorship deal got boosted when Ronaldo came along. It was already significantly stronger than this, with only one party involved. That was Jeep. Now you have also added Visit Detroit, to which we have to have on the kit, by the way, and it's still $69 million over 3 years. How the club does? Yeah, okay. I could see that being an argument, but it really doesn't hold any weight, because regardless of how we've done, if you look at this period of turmoil, whatever, we're still the biggest draw. And the numbers have not changed that. TV viewership, all this, fans across the world, we're still massive draw when it comes to Serie A. And again, if you're going to qualify for Champions League, which again, we will, you're not going to like that number. It is a brutal, brutal deal. Calvo, there's the door. Don't let it hit you on the ass on the way out. You had one task to do. This is the best you could do. We've gone full circle and landed at Jeep all again. And got 0 for this year. Sorry, 4 million. 4 million hits this year's funds from
I
the
don't know.
sponsorship.
Do fans buy kits based on how you were doing that same season? Or are they buying kits if they just look awesome and they like them? Because if you go by that standard, then Juve is still the club with the most fans in Italy and around the world from Italy. I mean, just put out a great kit, a lot more people would buy it. I don't think it has anything to do with where we're heading or where we're playing. If the kit is beautiful, more fans would buy it. That's just it. As simple as that.
Yeah. And Visit Detroit, I don't think is involved in the Champions League season for being on the kits too. I don't know. There's some weird things. Nobody really knows the full details, but I'm not really happy with the numbers. I think it's weak. And even if that was going to be the numbers, take advantage of it from the beginning of the season. I don't understand how it went that long to end up with a very, very small deal. Calvo? Hey, Dragons 8's dishing it out to you. You get it. You get it.
Yeah, he gets a red. Calvo gets a red.
Yeah. See you later,
Straight
man.
red.
There's the door. Straight red. Straight
One year
red.
ban.
Leafs or Panthers? Leafs. Leafs. Always. Always. Do you think the recent parity in Serie A is good for the league? The gaps between the top teams and mid-table teams is a lot smaller. League is wide open now. How do you feel about it, Paolo?
I think it's better. Anytime you have a top 10, keep it close and have a battle towards the last week or two is fun. It's exciting for fans. It's good for the league. I like it.
Homer?
I think it's definitely more interesting than what we had in the past few seasons where like Inter and Napoli won it like in March. But I think overall, if you look at the relegation battle, fourth place battle, even the Europa League and Conference League battles and the title, so you got it spread out all around the league. I do think it makes it more interesting. The reason is because the football is a bit worse. I mean, all the teams underperformed for me this season.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
That's
for me,
the
it's
catch.
simple. The parity is always great for a league.
Yeah.
The parity is great for the league. I think the way it was, the reasoning, to Omer's point about no team being convincing, makes it not so good for the league because it just actually looked like a clusterfuck, to be honest. Calling for what is.
Take
But parity
20 awful
usually is
teams.
good.
Take 20 awful teams, you'll have a great league.
Yeah.
You'll have a great season. Super interesting.
Yeah. So,
And it means that we're not doing that well if
yeah.
so
Yeah.
plays.
But we're coming down to the nitty gritty. We got to beat Udinese. Yes, there's a watch along, everybody. But first, we got to settle what kit am I rocking for the watch along. Last time Omer picked the 15-16 third kit. Paulo, what kit should I rock for this watch along today? Okay. We're going old school. We'll go old school. And then after, it'll be a Leafs jersey with the only one and only Dougie Gilmore, 93. The killer, Dougie.
Will they still be
damn
in?
it. Somebody's disappointing me today. Is it going to be Juve or the Leafs? Can't be both because I'll lose it.
Well, the Leafs do it every year, so
I know, I'm used to it. And unfortunately, I don't want to get used to it with all my teams. But right now, all my teams need work. So let's go. I'll rock an old school kit, one from the Kappa era. Beautiful kit. Paulo rock it today. Omer, 15-16 third, man. We had that draw. So that one's going to have to probably sit back for a bit, but we'll see.
I didn't know Kalulu was going to punch someone in the face. I mean, you were far better than Lazio.
Yeah, I mean, he took a swing to the back. I still say there was a wasp just buzzing around that motherfucker, and he was just trying to help him. He was just trying to be a good Samaritan. That ref,
I'm still
man.
shocked by the angle we got.
From space, you didn't like that?
Yeah.
Jeez.
No, not enough to warrant a red card. I mean, okay. It
Looked like it was from fucking
right
Katy
decision.
Perry's cell phone on that little friggin' fake adventure they went on to space there for 10 minutes. I don't know. Serie A, get it together. 2025, that's the best camera angle we could produce.
36 cameras minimum, and that's the best one they got.
Hey, let's see. You guys, watch along. 20 minutes before kickoff. Hope to see you all there. Paulo, Omer, always an absolute pleasure. Fun show. Great show. George, Iorio, reach out. Let's get you those kits mailed out with the displays from Display Pro Inc. Okay, congratulations to our winners. And we might have one more for the season ending. Okay, might be one more giveaway. And there's going to be gifts down at the Club World Cup. You guys, do whatever you do on match days. Pre-game rituals. Let's go. Big one today. Gotta win. Fino alla fine. Forza Juventus. Let's give Udinese one of these today. Ciao, ciao, everybody.